This is our main event of the evening. Mundo Boxing from the Tropicana Tropical Park in Miami, Florida.
And now, welcoming to the ring, the undefeated Alex Sensation Miller.
Alex Sensation Miller with the Guatemala flag. 6-0 as a pro, 5 knockouts. Alex Miller, one of the most exciting prospects in the super bantamweight division. He's making his 7th fight as a pro in tonight's main event boxing in the 305 Live from the Tropical Park in Miami, Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we welcome these fighters for tonight's main event. This bout is sanctioned by the Florida State Boxing Commission for 8 rounds in the super bantamweight division. Fighting out of the blue corner, a veteran of 58 professional fights with a record of 18 victories, 34 defeats, and 6 draws. Welcome tonight, Jonathan Zurdo Lecona Ramos. And fighting out of the red corner, under the tutelage of famed boxing trainer Pedro Diaz. He comes to us by way of Guatemala City, Guatemala, with a perfect professional record and an undefeated one. 6 victories, 5 wins coming by way of knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ring, Alex Sensation Miller!
Anything below here I'm going to call, okay? This is the belt line, right here at the hip, okay? All right, remember my commands. Stop breaking box. I say break, step back clean, keep your hands up at all times. Obey my commands. Let's have a good, clean fight, okay? Touch them up.
We're ready to go for the main event of the evening. Alex Sensation Miller against Jonathan Lecona Ramos from Mexico. Main event is underway in the super bantamweight division. 122 pounders. Black trunks, red gloves for Alex Miller. Black trunks, blue gloves for Jonathan Lecona Ramos from Mexico City. Right hand to the body. Andres Lichwell and David Barry, live from the Tropical Park in Miami, Florida.
Andres, this is the moment that we've been waiting for and talking about the build-up all night, but wow. I mean, you got multiple right uppercuts from Miller coming right out of the gate.
Lecona Ramos smiles, but he's hurt. He needs to show his experience in this fight against an upcoming talent like Alex Miller. 122 pounds we can expect, and we are watching some speed in the ring.
Indeed, and another thing to look up, and that's a nice lead left hand there by Ramos, but you know, one of the things you want to look for in a fight like this with a southpaw versus an orthodox fighter is that foot positioning. You know, it often dictates, people also saying that you want to have your lead foot on the center of that fighter's stance. You know, in their legs, you sort of dictate that pace and you prevent them from making the movements that they want. But so far, Ramos is showing that he is indeed a veteran of 58 professional fights, his 59th here, and just landed a nice sneaky left hook there over the top as well.
He's putting a good fight. Good right hand by Miller. Lecona Ramos rounding, changing angles, showing his experience. There you go. Shuffling, entangling. This is a very competitive fight. And Alex Miller is not going to have it easy tonight against a veteran like Ramos.
No, and you can argue that it seems that perhaps he's not settled in yet. Looks maybe a little bit more tense than you may expect. Ramos, meanwhile, with the professional pedigree and experience, certainly looks a little bit more relaxed in this opening round.
Big right hand by Alex Miller. He misses and works with the left hook. Jonathan Ramos using his experience. The fight continues. There are 35 seconds to go in the first round. This one is an 8-rounder in the super bantamweight division.
And you can see that there's certainly power in Miller. He loves working to the body. He's certainly a body puncher. But one thing you also want to make sure that is not happening too much is that fighter falls in love with his power. And that's one of the things you try to do in the beginning of your stages of your career, is to get those rounds in and get that experience to understand that power may help you in those early stages, but in the later stages, you're going to need that pedigree. But great exchanges here and so far in the middle here in the late stages of round one.
Round one is in the books. Good fight so far. Good exchanges. Good punches. Alex Miller showing off his right uppercut. And Lecona Ramos showing some volume with punches. This round it could go either way.
Yeah, I agree. There was Ramos certainly made a nice account of himself. I do think that Miller landed the punches of greater consequence, but it certainly was not an easy ride for him to get there. Certainly the body punches, those are the types of things, especially over the course of an 8-round fight, that you expect to start to pay dividends for Miller. Now let's see if he can continue to land those punches of impact.
As we get ready for the second round, Alex Miller from Guatemala City is fighting Jonathan Lecona Ramos from Mexico City in tonight's main event here at the Tropical Park, Miami, Florida, Mundo Boxing. Second round underway. Alex Miller working with the jab, both being cautious, looking for their timing and distance before shooting.
You can see Miller, well, that was countered there just a little bit, but he seems to be testing that jab and sometimes almost angling it and ending it as a hook. And you can see a little bit that Ramos leaves his lead hand, his right jab hand, just a little bit lower when he brings it back. And so I think that there's an opportunity for Miller to continue to turn that jab into a hook and potentially land that over the top. You can see that certainly being a punch for him to take advantage of.
Good combination, setting up the right uppercut with the left hand. That's kind of his main weapon. I like very much Alex Miller's right uppercut. He's using it in the fight, but so far, Lecona Ramos has been defending well.
And that right uppercut is a punch that in a lot of ways you can almost blind a southpaw fighter with, because it's coming from so far away that it's not a punch they necessarily see, number one, would expect you to throw, but certainly land. But Miller is having success with it, and until proven otherwise, continues to go for it.
Lecona Ramos was complaining for a low blow. The fight continues with the combination.
And he does not like what's coming back. Miller certainly hurt him on that one.
Lecona Ramos is hurt. He's in trouble. Alex Miller with the combination. Multiple right uppercuts. There's no answer from Romo, who's in the ropes.
He's got to throw something back to make him think twice about throwing those, but so far he's not proven that he can do that. And if Miller continues to get in there with those rights, and you can see him, Lecona Ramos is certainly holding that left hand close to the body, because that's what he certainly doesn't like getting hit there. And if I'm Miller, I try to mix it in with right there. What I was going to refer to is some overhand rights, because
he was lowering his hands.
The hands are coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Excellent start to this round for Miller.
Good left hand by Lecona Ramos. Another uppercut gets in. And Miller.
And you can see the difference in power. I mean, this is the second round. I mean, this might be over here in just a second. Lecona Ramos cannot. Nice speedy combinations there, but very little of substance. Now, what he's got to do is keep Miller off of him, and
he's doing the opposite, yeah.
Doing the opposite.
10 seconds to go in the second round. Great round by Alex Miller, mixing the punches. Good right hand to the body. This is over. Second round is in the books. What a great performance so far.
And you can see Lecona Ramos going to the corner and was favoring that side of his body because of the punch that had just landed there. So those punches are accumulating quickly. And normally you see those paying dividends later in a fight, but with the volume that Miller is landing those punches are landing dividends right now.
Let's watch the replay. Working with the jab, measuring, and then 2 left hooks to the body. Working to the body, and then when Ramos lowers his hand, there comes a big right hand by Alex Miller, who's doing an amazing fight tonight.
Yeah, certainly a strong performance. Got a sneak left hook over the top there. And look, what body punches, certainly when you have a fighter who's into a defensive mode, not all of those are going to get through, but you also have to keep in mind, too, the accumulation of punches that don't necessarily land to the body, but do land on the arms and elbows. That doesn't feel like a massage. I mean, those still add some pain and impact as well as we move in here to round 3.
Round number 3. David Berry and Andres Lichfield. We're here live in the Tropical Park, Miami, Florida. Mundo Boxing, our main event of the evening. Alex Miller and Jonathan Lecona Ramos. Working with the double jab, throwing huge right uppercuts. Jonathan Lecona Ramos is in trouble, but then he replies with another hand. And Alex Miller keeps that right uppercut coming all the fight, and it's working either to the face or to the body. It's making some damage.
Unquestionably, and for all the success he's having with it, it's also an unconventional punch to see a fighter being able to land or even throw this often, and he drops to his knees. I don't know that that's a single punch. That's an accumulation type of knockdown. But Lecona Ramos is going to have to show something in order to keep this fight going, or he could be, you've got just under a minute and 50 seconds here coming up for him to change the tenor of this fight, but he's not shown so far that that's going to be the case.
No. And knowing Miller's style, that he likes to go press, be in your face, it's going to be so hard for Lecona Ramos to overcome this round.
And Miller is just relentless with power punches. I mean, he
won't stop.
The jab is almost a decoy of sorts, but once he gets in, showing that little resistance, he's hooking right, left, repeatedly, mostly downstairs, but occasionally upstairs. Nice left hook up top. I mean, Miller is just pouring it on now.
Lecona Ramos is trying to answer, but Alex Miller is mixing good punches, using the left hand with the jab and the hook, and then throwing that big right uppercut. It has worked so well tonight when we have 1 minute to go in the third round.
You can see that Miller is obviously a strong puncher, but you also have the sense that he's physically strong. It seems that his pressure is creating a scenario where he feels like he's bullying his opponent here tonight. The other thing to note here too is when Lecona Ramos throws, he is having some success. He's getting in there with some clean punches, throwing those combinations as you see him throwing right now. Not necessarily major power on these, but again, if he can stick them at the end of the jab, get some movement around, but the problem is he's not moving. And being the fighter who does not have the power that Miller does is creating the situation that you see here. Another big body shot by Miller, and he goes down to a knee. And Andres, I think this fight could be over.
Yes, sir.
He rises to his feet. Zurdo, as they call him.
Zurdo, the lefty. And the third round is over. What a great performance by Alex Miller so far. The good thing is we get to watch him a little bit more.
Another round of action.
Yes.
Andres, what do you like that you're seeing from Miller so far tonight?
I mean, how he's mixing his punches. Now we're watching the replays. Those big right hands, right uppercuts, I mean, that's his big weapon tonight. The left hooks, and he kept switching it. Working to the body, to the head, a huge repertoire. And we gotta say it, Lecona Ramos is not an easy fighter. Like, you can tell he's got great technique, good volume of punches, but when Miller presses the action, it's so hard to keep him in distance.
I mean, those are just powerful combinations. And you can see the visceral
The precision,
reaction
the
on his
timing, yeah, when Alex Miller shoots, it's what's making the difference tonight, because Lecona Ramos, he has good punches tonight, but the best part for Alex Miller, 4th round of our main event of the night. Alex Miller from Guatemala and Jonathan Lecona Ramos from Mexico.
And Miller is not coming in to slow down at all. It looks like he wants to get his opponent out of there, and if you were a betting individual, this might be the round to expect it to happen. And he is pouring it on again, and he is not slowing down.
Good combination, power hooks, uppercut to the head. Jonathan Lecona Ramos on the ropes, trying to survive, yes, and he's asking for more.
He's asking for more, and I think more than anything, he might be trying to hype up the crowd, but he's certainly trying to hype up himself. And in order to handle the onslaught that's coming at you in a fight like that, you certainly need all the help and hype you can get. Kudos to the Warrior for fighting through a situation like this against a puncher like Miller. This is the hurt business, and this is what they're paid to do.
He's not backing down. He's trying to fight. He's trying to hurt his opponent. He's not giving up. And this is why this is our main event of the night.
You can see the sneakiness that probably makes Lecona Ramos a challenging opponent. That when he does throw, he's got the speed and the quickness on those combinations. But he is down, and this is attrition, and
this might be over. Let's see.
Yep.
Yep.
And the referee calls a halt to the action. 4 rounds. And the official time of the stoppage, we'll get in a second. It appeared to be a minute 40 of round number 4, but what a performance from Miller.
Wow.
4 rounds of pain for Lecona Ramos, but did his best to make a great account of himself. But Miller, you see the hype and you understand it. He delivered in volume tonight. Perhaps a little bit as we discussed he might.
He's now 7-0, 6 knockouts. Alex Miller from Guatemala. Remember the name, the Guatemala flag waving right there in the ring. We want to see more of this amazing super bantamweight fighter. And Lecona Ramos, kudos to him. He was in the fight. He was trying to hurt his opponent, but enough was enough in the 4th round.
Yeah, and he's a journeyman fighter, and he's 37 years old, and it's hard to get up for nights like this against a young, aggressive puncher like Miller. And kudos to him, but it's a tough business to learn your lessons in.
Miller showing respect in the ring with his opponent, Lecona Ramos, who showed different weapons. He was shuffling, throwing different types of punches. It was a great main event. They often exchange in the center of the ring with uppercuts and hooks, but Alex Miller's talent was so much tonight, and he's still undefeated as one of the most promising prospects in the super bantamweight division. He's fast, he's got a great right uppercut, he mixed it very good with jabs and left hooks, and that's what gave him the victory tonight, with huge precision to work on the body. David Berry ringside with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee calls a halt to the action at 1 minute 20 seconds of round number 4. Your winner, and still undefeated, Alex Sensation Miller!
Alex Sensation Miller improves to 7-0 with 6 knockouts in tonight's main event of the evening against Jonathan Lecona Ramos. What an amazing performance by the Guatemala Warrior. The Sensation. He loves Roberto Duran style, and he showed tonight fighting on his opponent's face. What a great performance by Alex Miller tonight. And this is our last fight of the night. What a great event tonight.